By the way, did you know that Alan has a fragrance?
No, that's fascinating.
He actually has two. Um, without looking it up, hold, pause. What do you think it's called?
I have no idea.
It's just called Coming. He put out a second one, and it's just called Coming Again.
Oh my god, dude.
Welcome to The Floor Is Ours, where we definitely looked up who Columbo was last week. I'm Luke Melanie, a RuPaul's Drag Race and Survivor pull-in.
I'm Max Bass. I'm a summer house guy. I dabble in the housewives. I dabble in Southern charm, not via my own choice. Watch a little bit of Vanderpump, but I'm a big fan of the Traitors, first and foremost, above any of those. And Luke, I am downtrodden.
Livid, upset, just absolutely shocked that this could happen. The Discord is in shambles.
People are upset, to the point where there were some people who were even glad that I basically spoiled it for them to prepare them for the misery that was watching that roundtable. I have to take some accountability for you and for our listeners, after having Carolyn as number one. I guess we both had Carolyn as number one in our power rankings, but I've been banging that drum for longer than we've even been on the podcast together, and I have never seen someone's game unravel so fast after being so tight.
Everyone had that. Everyone had Carolyn as number one. She was running a perfect game. I think Dylan even said that during the episode, basically, that she was running a perfect trader game. And she never came under the spotlight. And that meant that she never had to defend herself even a little bit. And so Danielle played it perfectly. Danielle was playing it the whole day. Danielle was playing it for 3 days, for 4 days. She was playing this. She was ready for it. And she'd been under the microscope so much that she brought it to her.
It's like that meme when the worst person you know makes a good point, except she didn't make a good point. She made a good play. And it was brutal to watch. It was brutal to watch someone who I really was rooting for do so poorly, but then also, to benefit someone who I dislike so much in Danielle. I really feel like Carolyn, when she was being weird reactively, she was much better, but she was being weird proactively during that chess game, and she really just showed that she was in her own head. She showed that she really couldn't lie aggressively. She had to react to what was coming to her and kind of not be listen to all for what, 10K? Like, my lord, 10K. Like,
should have
is
just burned the money.
Really that important? Like, my God.
Should have just burned on the money.
Just lit that shit on fire.
I'm going to box you in on player of the week. So my player of the week, I'm not going to pick Danielle. That would be something, someone who would gloat. Someone who would gloat about their prediction would pick Danielle. I'm going to pick Gabby.
That's who I was going to pick.
Yeah, I'm boxing you in. I'm boxing you in 100% of the way. I'm picking Gabby.
Here? Do you see my notes?
No, I can't see your notes. I haven't hacked you, but I am picking Gabby. Gabby is on to the over emotion. Gabby is dialed in. Gabby has it figured out. Gabby even got a New York Times story today. I haven't read all of it, but I have read enough of it to feel really good about it. Gabby gets my player of the week. She's playing all the angles. She's got all the personalities. I don't think there's a segment that she's really not involved in at this point.
Look, Gabby Gabby is someone who I think is not top of the traitors list for murder. And after that roundtable, when she sat down and said it's giving Rob versus Bob the drag queen, I can tell you that was when I wrote down her name in my notes and said, Luke's going to pick Danielle. I'm going to pick Gabby as my player of the week because I can't bear to pick Danielle. However, given that I've been boxed in, double jumped, took my rook, took my knight, Danielle is quite clearly the only other option for player of the week. She's Geppetto. She's the puppet master. She played Carolyn like a fiddle. She was moving the strings and Carolyn was just dancing her way out of the castle. Half of me wants to give Carolyn a little bit of shout for an amazing speech and taking it like a real champ, but I also don't think that we saw the full arguments that we certainly didn't see the full arguments, but I don't think we even saw the best points that were made in the arguments that they made at the round table, because quite frankly, you're talking all about Columbo. It was hard to even follow what was going on. And quite frankly, I thought it was pretty even, but net, Danielle won the battle. Everything Danielle said she wanted to happen up in that turret as Carolyn was making those stupid decisions and then proceeded to walk right into her trap during the chess game. The player of the week from my side, if Gabby is taken, quite clearly has to be Danielle. And I hate to say it.
Dylan, Gabby, Tom, and Britt also have no idea who Columbo is.
Ivar does.
Ivar knows who Columbo is.
That's the one thing Ivar has known this entire season is he knows who Columbo is. Oh, I know Columbo. Okay, and that's why he voted for Carolyn. Motherfucker.
It's really sad because there's just no other option. Because otherwise, I actually think outside of the Carolyn trap, Danielle played terribly. I think she got over emotional.
She had hella suspicion. Before that, she was leaving. Before Carolyn walked into that trap, Danielle was gone.
Yeah,
full stop.
Yeah, I totally agreed. And then the recruitment strategy was awful. Right up there with Phaedra's recruitment strategy. Outside of Danielle then saying, what's her strategy?
Exactly.
It's pretty much the exact same thing.
Well, terrible for different reasons. I mean, Kate is below deck. Phaedra is housewives at the very least, right? These two women were on the same show together and have been butt buddies the entire season, right? Both terrible. I'm not putting one above the other, but for different reasons, right? Like Phaedra's worst move was when Kate joined the turret. She goes, okay, so what do we do now? It's like, well, you come on. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We haven't seen anything like that from Danielle, but just the choice on a face value, horrendous choice, because how could she not see the Rob versus Bob theory coming? They had to play out the coffin theory. They eliminated Sierra just because of a theory. Pattern analysis, as you've been saying all year, she has to know. I guess she doesn't, and I'm glad, but she has to at least sense that they're coming for her.
Terrible decision. Even Brittany was like, what are we doing here? Why would you recruit me? And next episode, I would be shocked if we don't get a interview of Britt where she kind of deadpans and says, guess I'm screwing over Danielle again.
Again. Exactly. Luke, I actually, on that note, I actually have a thought on game theory. I just feel like at this point, after 3 seasons of the Traitors, we've seen so many times, whether it was Dan and Phaedra or Bob and Rob, and now Carolyn and Danielle, and even Carolyn and Danielle versus Rob. It's just traitors, when they're backed into a corner, accuse other traitors. So
it's their only outlet.
If I'm a traitor getting accused, I'm not. I mean, honestly, you can't make it personal. It's so clear at this point that if you get a traitor out, the person, if they were fighting with one person, that person is very likely a traitor. And so if I'm a traitor fighting with a traitor at the round table trying to hide, the best way to hide it, in my view, is to not go back at that person. Is to be like that, is to be defensive, defend yourself, but push a theory that you have against someone else and try to get a faithful out. I don't know if it would work, but I've seen the opposite not work so many times that like that might be how I'd play it.
I don't think anyone will ever be able to say, I'm 100% certain that this person's a traitor and get far in this game. It's just not going to be a working strategy at this point, now that it's been exposed.
Yeah. Saying I'm 100%. I mean, no, I've spent 3 seasons trying to come up with the one line as a faithful to prove that I'm a faithful, and there's literally nothing. The best evidence that I could think of wasn't even used because Sam got murdered. But Sam could say, "Look, I came up with a literal trap for the traitors." Like why? Like why would I have? Why would I have done that? But like. There's nothing that you can do. There's no 100% certainty, and so that using that line is a death sentence. I agree.
How have we not seen someone just ask and be like, "Oh yeah," and like, "What's it like up in the turret?" to someone, just to see if they're like, "Oh yeah, it's actually better lit than you thought it would be." So we both agree that Britt is a terrible recruitment.
A terrible recruitment because she threatens Danielle's game immediately.
Gone. I think that killed Danielle's game entirely. Even if Britt is the next one out, Danielle's the next one right after her, right? There's no way for her to break that sequence anymore at all.
But they still get to murder tonight.
Okay.
Tonight, right? They still get to murder.
Yeah.
So Brittany and Danielle, I think. I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably going to be. Do you think they murder a guy or a gal?
I think they murder a guy.
I feel like
they haven't. I think they haven't played against or with the traitors are women theory enough. Yeah. Like every time that's been said, it hasn't even really been challenged.
Hold up though. Who was there when Gabby said it's giving Rob and Bob? Was Brittany there? I feel like Brittany was there.
Brittany was there. Ivar was there.
Your player of the week might be toast. Your player of the week might be toast, Luke.
Ooh, yeah. Gabby might be a real easy target on this. But she said it already. That theory is out there already. Everyone kind of latched onto it. It's in motion.
We've seen theories from last breath theories happen before, and not much has happened from them. A lot happens in that castle. People are sleep deprived, going through challenges, trying to win money. There's going to be a new variable with this seer coming next week. It's going to flip the game on its head, according to Alan Cumming. I don't have a lot of faith in that. If Gabby's not there in the morning of the next episode, I am really, really starting to doubt that Danielle is gone. But I'm just going to hope for it. So,
if anything, the theory gets stronger with a death. Okay, who would you have recruited?
Exactly. I mean, I think we both agree that Danielle's decision to recruit Brittany was horrendous. We've said that. Actually, before we get into this, I do want to. I had a couple of listener theories that I wanted to shout out for folks who've reached out to me, fans of the pod. I said this to you, and you told me that I was wearing a tinfoil hat, but wasn't my idea. So but I kind of like it. Danielle and I've seen a lot on social about how Danielle's been in the castle swearing on her grandkids that she's not a traitor and things like that, and people think she's gone way too far. I think she's way too caught up in this game. I think she's way too caught up in the relationships, and I think that she revealed to Brittany that she was a traitor. I think she was super confident that she was gonna make the move to get Carolyn out. She knew there would be a recruitment, and it's possible that she may have revealed to Brittany, given her psychotic and emotional tendencies and attachment to other people. I think she revealed to Brittany that she's a traitor. She believes they're going to the end. She's committed to the fantasy, and I don't believe she's playing a fair game. And yes, I'm being judgmental and absolutely targeting someone who I don't like with this, but you know what? That's what this pod is for. The floor is ours.
Brittany is screwing over Danielle again, and it's going to be great television.
I really hope so. The second theory is that Tom and Dolores are actually not mortal enemies, but they're in collusion to try to stay off the traitors' radar by voting for each other, which I think is very interesting.
I think that's a really interesting theory. It takes away 2 votes from the faithful, but it might be a really good move.
Keeps them off the traitors' radar. They're not hunting traitors. They think they're just people who are gonna. They think they're people who are gonna like cause chaos and help them, but so they can't kill them and they're not gonna banish them. So they just stick around and stick around and stick around.
And it's such a unlikely character, such a I'm the main character thing from Tom. Is he saying his name again? I love Tom. He cracks me up.
He's musically inclined. He's musically inclined. Okay. So back to the subject. Who would I have recruited in place of Brittany if I were Danielle or in Danielle's shoes? I probably would have recruited Gabby. I think that, and I'm hoping I'm boxing you in here and taking someone from you, because that making me choose Danielle, I'm still bitter about that. But I think I would have recruited Gabby. I think that you want to recruit another woman to continue the women theory, because you got to be thinking about someone who you can kind of, again, someone who's might make it to the end with you, but then you can throw under the bus and convince that the other folks that they're a traitor. And I think that she's not someone who's close. She's not someone who has a lot of suspicion like Dolores has been getting votes, and she's someone who, quite frankly, has not had any. She hasn't had any suspicion the entire game, and she's not close to Danielle and played the same game as her like Brittany did. And so Gabby would be my choice if I were to recruit as Danielle. How about you?
Leading directly into that user theory, I'm recruiting Dolores. I don't think it's that hard to get one more vote onto Tom in particular, right? Dolores has been doing this all the time. I just don't think that it would be that hard to get. What do you need? 2 more votes. So you say Gabby, Danielle, Dolores, and then you're trying to convince Ivar?
You're saying to vote against Tom? To vote against Tom?
To vote Tom out. To vote Tom out. Right.
Agreed. But on the contrary, imagine the chaos of turning Dolores and then rallying with Tom and turning the group against Dolores, validating one of Tom's cockamamie theories, and then letting him cause chaos for the rest of the game, and you coast to the end.
Right. Multiple avenues to victory. Recruiting Dolores seems like a great decision to me. I like either half of that, really. I just think it's easier to cast aspersions on Tom than it is to Dolores because of the gender theories flying around. But I was recruiting one piece of those. And if they'd been voting for each other just to stay low key throughout this whole thing, spectacular work. Would love to see that come out in a reunion type of episode.
March 6th, the Traitors reunion. We are close to the end of the season, and I can't wait to see what happens as long as Danielle doesn't win. I want to shout myself out for something that Kate mentioned. She walked on the show, she took one look at Dylan and told Parvati that he's giving Pilot Pete vibes, which is I've been saying that all season.
If they put a set of weights in your room for the B-roll, you should be excited.
He is ripped.
There are no kettlebells in Ivar's room. There's a certain amount of smugness going on today. So,
look, deserved the way the cold open for last episode did you a lot of favors. I'm very intrigued about this seer thing that's upcoming.
Wait, seer?
I don't really even know. There's something coming in the next episode that apparently could flip the whole game on its head. Not just the recruitment. I think that's one of the reasons why they showed us who got recruited. They gave us that. They used that as a cliffhanger.
Yep.
Because the real cliffhanger was what the fuck is this new thing that's going to change the game? So something weird's going to happen in this next episode, and I'm not sure what it is.